World of Magic was the prequel to Arcane Odyssey and a game that was widely popular until its eventual cancellation of updates. Most of the community agree that the game was bad, but I'm here to share my opinion on how it is actually a great game. Hear me out. So I wasn't around when World of Magic was released. I first played it in 2019, I think in my old crappy computer, and promptly left because of how laggy the game was. Fast forward a year after I got my brand spanking new computer, I rejoined World of Magic flexing my outrageous FPS and was ready to start an adventure. I created my super cringe, edgy character and gave him purple lightning magic because I thought that was so incredibly cool at the time, and I went on my way. Hours went, and then it turned into days, and then weeks, and I just never found myself getting bored of the game. The eeriness of the unknown and the woods at night when I was really new had a psychological impact on my perspective on the game. The bandits, which I genuinely thought at the beginning were players until I realised how much of a dumbass I was, were ever present amongst the many dangers that lie across this map. The sheer beauty of the game with its incredible music that just fits perfectly with the theme of the forests and the ever so ominous threat of bosses that lurked in the dark. The way the game felt and presented itself to me really came across as a game that had just such a good future and good potential. The greatest pleasure I found in this game was the bliss of ignorance when I was a new player. Everything just seemed fresh compared to almost every other Roblox game that was available at the time. However, the problems of this game eventually surfaced in my mind. As an early player, all of the problems were just masked under all of the good points, as I've stated previously. The game did a good job of distracting you from all of its problems, bombarding you with endless feels and greatness of how good the game is and using your lack of knowledge on the game as a base. But once you eventually explored all of the map and learned everything that there was about the game, the problems just became really apparent. The game was essentially a bandit beater or a quest grinder, as those two were really the only ways to level up. Quests were only rewarded with XP and a menial amount of money, and almost every single quest was just the same format. The most fun quest of them all was an NPC asking you to take out some bandits or pirates or a dark wizard or something, which was creative in the sense that it combined the two elements together of leveling up, but ultimately these quests just weren't common, so you were either stuck with doing one or the other to level up. And once you've reached max level, which is 90, quests basically became useless. There was little point in killing random enemies, as the only thing that did was increase your fight and NPC kill count. You could aim to become a legendary hero with the highest fame or a demon lord with the highest bounty, but ultimately there was no point or reward in doing this, as it basically gave you nothing apart from a flex that doesn't really matter or have any impact, since it's not even that hard to achieve either status. Some of the things that really remain that you could do is find the two bosses that were available in the game and kill them as much as you can, as they drop really rare armor and weapons, and were just really good to get. This would probably take you at least a week of intensive grinding to be able to get every drop from either boss, and the bosses were the Minotaur and the Exiled. And I'm not gonna lie, doing that myself was pretty fun, as you eventually got pretty skilled at fighting them, but the one thing that really pissed me off were randoms coming along and hitting the boss, causing its HP to double, and then just running off, leaving you with a boss with twice the HP now. Another thing that was quite fun in World of Magic was PvP. But it was hard to find others interested in this for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why, probably because they had a bad computer or something, since the game was not really optimized and didn't really run well on most hardware, or something, or they were afraid of losing their money or something, I'm not entirely sure. But whenever you did find someone who wanted to PvP, you'd have a blast, as it was honestly just a new experience away from the story and the PvE element of the game. But by far, in my opinion, the most fun thing I like to do in World of Magic that you cannot do as much in Arcane Odyssey is blowing everything up. All of the cities and towns were destructible to the very block, and every tree as well, even the ground in some areas were all destructible, making battles very exciting, as it felt each and every attack you had or did had a real impact and weight behind it, and it really fueled your inner battle fantasy. Not to mention it would look sick to a noob. Like, imagine a noob just showing up at your battle and you're battling another player and there's buildings getting smashed to smithereens and pieces and chunks of trees flying past you and shit. That was a real dopamine hit, I'm not gonna lie, just like flexing that you're as strong as you are. The two big problems with World of Magic according to the community is its lack of content after you've reached max level, which you could do within a day if you're smart, and its lack of content, I guess. But if you were smart with the game, you could always find something to do. After you've reached max level, you could easily make a new save file but with a different build. You could try and make the largest magic explosion spell with 50 bursting enchants in existence. You could try and become the tankiest man the world of magic has ever seen. You could replicate anime characters and, you know, cringe stuff like that. You could be annoying with a max agility build. There is so much content in this game if you actually look for it. Many people just play Roblox games for quick satisfaction and they want things like now. They want to feel the feels right like at this very second. But in World of Magic, if you're willing to put in the effort, you can find a much deeper satisfaction with the end result of things. Grinding for armors and looking for items for specific builds isn't easy and it gets quite boring. But once you do it, you might feel a great excitement that I felt personally of accomplishing a goal that you've been pursuing. With your new build, that is complete and new abilities that you've worked for, and you can now enjoy the game knowing the amount of effort that it took you to get to that point. And this might eventually lead to another build, and the process just repeats itself. Of course, this cycle of satisfaction won't last forever and will eventually burn out just like all things do. But the fun you've had along the way will be much deeper and much greater than someone who only completes the game once. And it will be something that you probably won't regret. For clarification, World of Magic is still up on Roblox, but the level cap has been increased from 90 to 10,000, and all of the lock spells that you couldn't use at level 90 are now all achievable. Of course, your save files from previously won't be there, as they were all transferred over to Arcane Odyssey instead, but in my opinion, you should have a blast of the past experience and try out World of Magic once again, to relive the experiences that you had, that I personally really enjoyed, and maybe you will too. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then hit that like button and let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you want to see more content like this, then consider subscribing. And this has been Aimsell, and I'll see you later.